Okay, so we've got some graphs here. Do we agree that we can find slope and y-intercept from graphs? We all can acknowledge that. Not saying it's always easier, it's not necessarily always hard. What I'm going to do as well, though, I'm going to draw this line right here. I think you can clearly see where the graph, the x and y axes are. It's just a little bit thicker on yours. It's not much, but if you look, you should be able to see it. Can everybody tell?
Yeah.
So all I've done so far is just draw that to kind of help myself see where the x and the y axis are. Okay? Now, first and foremost, these are going by ones. I know yesterday we had a few that didn't do that, but these are going by ones. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. With that being said, let's just go into the easy one first. What is the y-intercept of this graph? What is the y-intercept of this graph? Addison?
4.
4?
Positive 4. 3.
I'm going to say 3. And here's why.
I can't see it that well.
You're good, you're good. I know the graph's not very good. Once we get to these ones, they'll be much better. So 3 would be right here. I know that the line's going through the number 4, but the number 4 is just written there to show you that. So can we all agree the y-intercept is 3? Okay, awesome. So I'm going to put b equals 3. Because, again, y-intercept is used by the letter b. Why? I don't know. It's probably some very old Greek word. I don't know. I don't have that answer. Now I'm going to look for the slope. And for the slope, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find two really nice points. So I'm going to choose -1, 1 and 0, 3. -1, 1 and 0, 3. And if I go up 2 over 1, I find that my slope is either 2 or 2 over 1. Thumbs up if we're good. Thumbs down if we're totally lost. Thumbs in your ears if you're just feeling that way.
Just feeling little.
Kendall, I figured it would be you. I'm glad you're feeling that way. Questions on 1, are we good? Cool? All right, number 2. Again, I'm going to go ahead and try to thicken out the axes here, just to make it a little bit easier for you. For those of you guys that are new to class, I'm just going to apologize to you now. My drawing and handwriting is horrendous. And so I tried to draw a water pail one time. Do you guys remember this?
Yep.
Yeah.
And no one knew what it was. So just be aware. It's just part of it. It's part of the allure of this classroom. All right, so this one's a little bit different. Why is this one different? What makes this one unique to the problem that we just did? Josh? It's below the origin.
That's not one of the...
Yep, you're right. I goofed up real bad on that one. My sincerest of apologies there. Does that look better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is below the origin. Therefore, Josh, what does that mean about my y-intercept? It's got to be what? Not necessarily non-proportional. It is non-proportional, I agree. What does it mean? It's negative, right?
Oh, yeah.
The y-intercept's going to have to be negative. So I'm going to just count down. -1, -2, -3. So I'm going to say that my y-intercept, or my b, is -3. Is everybody okay with that? How about a slope? Can anybody give me a slope on this particular one? Well, I'll give you two ordered pairs. How's that? I'll give you 0, -3, and I don't know, what is that? We'll say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And 6, 1. 0, -3, and 6, 1 are going to be my two ordered pairs that I give you. Okay, what'd you get?
4 over 6 is 2.
Good, yeah, 4 over 6, okay? But we always simplify. And if I divide 4 over 6 by 2, I end up with 2 over 3. Still good? Any questions on those? Anything you want me to repeat, slow down on, go over again, or can I keep going? Keep going? Anthony, are you raising your hand, or are you just stretching?
Oh, I'm not stretching.
Okay, cool. All right, this one, we're looking for two things, slope and y-intercept. Now, I'm going to take a different approach to this graph just because I want to make sure that I'm taking care of you and answering the questions that you have. Notice that my x values are going by 1s. Does everybody see that? So if we're going by ones, then all we need to do is figure out what is the difference between every single y value. So what is every y value increasing by?
4.
4, right? Jackson, do you agree? So 4, 4, 4, and 4. So does anybody want to take a bold statement and tell me what you think the slope to this problem is going to be? What do you think?
1/4.
1/4? So if we do 1/4, so basically, let me rephrase that. You just got it flipped. It would be 4 over 1. Because we're going up and down, which is our y, Evan. So that's going to be 4, 4, 4, 4. That's our rise. And then we're going over 1, which is our x. So we just have it flipped there. So our slope's going to be 4. But here's where it gets a little bit trickier, though. I'm trying to find the y-intercept now. How can I find the I don't want to know the answer yet. I want to know how can I find it. Walk me through that process. Mihal, what would you do?
I would, well, you know that x is going to be 0.
Okay, so x is going to be 0 because we talked about that yesterday, right? So I'm going to put a 0 up here.
And I would say that it is not proportional.
It's not proportional. Why? Tell me why.
Because I see that it increases, well, it decreases. It increases each time. And I'd say it has to be negative because you have to decrease more to go to 0.
Did you guys hear what you just said? That was the key spot. You have to decrease by to get to 0. Notice that we kept going up here, so therefore we kept adding 4. But now we're going to go backwards. And so instead of adding 4, what do you think I'm going to do? Subtract 4. So what is negative 17?
Negative 24.
Negative 21.
Oh, dang, not bad. I was 4.
Does everybody understand how we were able to accomplish that one? So the y-intercept for this one is going to be negative 21. Pretty easy, right? Repetition is key here. All right, how about number 4? Number 4 is a little bit trickier. Not much. I feel pretty good about number 4. But I want to see what you think. I'm going to actually just let you guys try to attempt this one on your own, then we'll discuss it. They're just decimals. Don't be intimidated. We're not changing the process. We're just dealing with decimals. I'm looking for the slope and the y-intercept. Slope and y-intercept. Anthony, what'd you get? Give me one of them.
Is the y-intercept 0.25? Because it's adding by 0.25 every single time.
So is that going to be the y-intercept or is that going to be the slope? That's the slope. So 0.25 is correct, but that's going to be for your slope, not your y-intercept. Now, I want to make something really clear to you as well. Anthony did a great job. I'm really proud of him for that. We got the 0.25. But if I leave that as a 0.25, does that help me with my rise over run at all? It doesn't.
Attention all 7th grade students. Any student that was absent for pictures for the yearbook or students that need to retake their picture, it is your
I'm like
time to go
sweating
down
now.
to the gym. Thank you.
It scares me every time. Does anybody need to go take a picture?
Yeah, I was like,
Okay, yeah, feel free. Hey, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. But I would like you to go get your picture, and I'll help you get caught up, okay? Anybody else? No? Read?
I almost got the answer.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back to this. So this 0.25, if we're putting it in rise over run, it should be in a fraction form. And can anybody tell me what 0.25 as a fraction is? Nathan, what do you think?
0.25 would be like a quarter.
1/4 or 1/4. But that gets me back to I'm rising up 1 and going over 4. That's the only reason I'm adding that component there. Okay, and then last but not least, this one's the easiest y-intercept out of all of them. What is the y-intercept of this one? Addison?
4.5.
4.5, because we know that anytime x is 0, then our y-intercept is what follows for the y value. Does that make sense? Okay? Yeah, Reed, what's up, man?
Wouldn't it be negative 0.25? since we're subtracting every
Great
time.
catch there, Reed. Excellent job. Explain it to the class, Reed. Tell them why.
Because we're subtracting every time instead of adding.
So just like with our line, we're starting up taller and we're getting shorter and lower and lower and lower. That's how it's negative. It's the same thing here. Understood? Okay. I'm going to scroll up to 5 through 8. We're going to run through those ones really quickly. And then after that, guys, I'm going to give you as much time as you need for your quiz. Then we'll grade it. And once again, you will leave my class first 2 days of the 36 weeks with no homework.
Is the quiz a grade?
Is the quiz a grade?
Is the quiz
that a
a
no?
grade?
said no.
Did the announcements scare me?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
But okay.
So just because the announcement
Is it-
scared you means it's a grade?
No. I was just using that to get someone to say yes.
Answer the question yes, that's
Is a quiz a test grade or
Just a daily grade. Just a daily grade.
not daily.
It's literally just replacing your homework. That's all it's doing. Is instead of you doing homework tonight, I'm giving you a quiz so I can tell you, hey, you guys are doing awesome. Get ready. Or, yeesh, we did not do good. Let's work on it. All right, so here, this table and this table. Looking for the slope. Can anybody remind the class what is the slope formula that we talked about? It's got the two components, the top line and the bottom line down. What is it?
M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus y minus x.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay, y'all, look. You have a whole table here. X1, X2, Y1, Y2. We're all understanding how I'm getting those from. Could you pick other points? Yes, but why would we make our lives more complicated? Why not take the ones that are given to us? Okay, so if I set these up, it's going to be 2 minus 6 over -1 minus a -3. Now, some of our online students may not have seen this yet. I have a minus sign because in the problem there's a minus sign. I have a -3 because the problem's a negative. So I have minus a negative here. And when we have minus a negative, that becomes an addition problem. Okay? So now what this really looks like is 2 minus 6 over -1 plus 3, which is going to give me -4 over 2, which is going to become -2 over 1, or just -2 for my slope. Are we okay with that? Okay, here's my issue though. Right here is where my 0 value would be. In between the -1 and the +1. So how, if I'm changing by a -2 every time, if I have a +2 at -1, and I'm changing by a -2 every time, that means I have to subtract 2 from this 2. Does everybody follow what I'm saying by that? Just like on that example up here, we were increasing by 4. It's the same thing. We're changing by -2 every time. So it's going to be 2 minus 2, which is going to make my y-intercept 0. I feel like I got a lot of blank stares on that one. Nod your head if you follow what I said on that. Ruger, you good there? Caden? Josh? Okay. So if it's 0, 0, that means it goes to the origin and it's proportional.
Yes.
Over here, I'm just going to go ahead and just do this one super quick. Notice I'm increasing by 2 every time. So if I'm increasing by 2 every time, my slope has to be 2. And y-intercept is whenever x is 0. So what's the y-intercept on this one? 7. Last but not least down here, these are in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Remember that the value in front of the x is my what? Slope. The value in front of the x is slope. And then this piece at the end is what? The y-intercept, so b is equal to 6. No math on those ones. We're just literally translating them. What's the slope on this one, number 8? Read.
Negative. No, it's -4.
-4. What's the y-intercept on this one, Jackson? -9. Cool. All right, I'm going to go and stop my video real quick.